Game 3 of the night here in the Delco Pro-Am. We're coming up with another big game here. Maple Zone Brazil going up against Take Your Game to another level. Maple Zone Brazil coming in at 4-5. Take Your Game to another level, coming up at 7-2. So it should be a good game here tonight, Aaron.
It really should. Again, Maple Zone Brazil right on that 9th place tie, looking in. Take Your Game to another level, pretty much at the top of the standings, but coming off a tough loss. So they're going to want to rebound in this game.
So what does Maple Zone Brazil, first off, need to do to get into those standings? Like you said, they're on the outside looking in right now. So what do they need to do to get over the hump and perhaps sneak their way into the playoffs?
It would definitely be sneaking their way in. It's going to be a tough game against Take Your Game to another level, but key one for Maple Zone is going to have to be shut down Marty Collins, or at least slow him down if you can. Marty Collins, he was shut down a little bit last night against Under Armour Elite, only had 15 points, and his team came out with a loss. If you can slow him down and keep him to under about 20, right around 15, 20 points, and not let him go off for his typical 25, 27, and sometimes 30-point game, that's going to go a long way towards victory for Maple Zone Brazil. Key number 2 is going to be box out on the glass. Take Your Game to another level is one of the biggest teams in this league with Guy-Marc Michel, Jerai Grant, Lester Prosper is here. These guys are huge under the basket. So if you're Maple Zone Brazil, you're not as big of a team. You've got to box out and get good position under the bucket. Otherwise, Take Your Game to another level is going to have several second chance opportunities, and that'll kill you. Key 3, you've got to play with some kind of determination, some kind of desire and desperation right now. You're 4-5 if you're Maple Zone Brazil. You're in 9th place tie with 4 other teams. Stomp Off, Good Afternoon, and Hi-Fi House, all teams that could sneak into the playoffs, as we said before. There's really nothing locked up between 6 and 8, the 8th spot right now. So Hoops 365, Maple Zone Brazil, going to have to come out, get a win if they have any hope of making the playoffs.
Sure. And take your game to another level. Like you said, coming off a really tough loss last night against Under Armour Elite, what do they have to do to bounce back?
Well, that's the big key one is going to have to be bounced back, and Marty Collins is going to be a big part of that. He didn't have a great game last night, like I said before, resulted in a loss for his team. If he can come back strong, that's going to be a big factor for Take Your Game to another level in terms of getting back on the winning track at 7-2 after the loss last night. Key 2, the big men for Take Your Games to another level really need to step up in this game. We talked about how good they can be and the size they have under the bucket, but last night we saw Lavoy Allen just outmuscle all 3 of those guys, or rather 2 between Guy-Marc Michel and Jerai Grant. Those 2 got outworked on the glass by Lavoy Allen. They cannot afford to have that happen tonight against a smaller Maple Zone Brazil team. So key 3 for them is going to have to be apply pressure on Maple Zone Brazil. Maple Zone Brazil, they don't have a great ball handler. They're not a great ball handling team. A lot of 2 and 3 guards, no real true point guard on that squad. So if they can apply pressure on Maple Zone Brazil, they've shown the ability to turn the ball over in bunches, and that's the one thing that to Take Your Game to another level is very good at, is getting turnovers and getting out and running. So if they can do that in this game, they're going to make it tough for Maple Zone Brazil to pick up a win.
Going to be a great game here tonight. Game number 3 here in the Delco Pro-Am. Maple Zone Brazil going up against Take Your Game to another level. Stay tuned for that one.